So I was digging through some old boxes the other day. You know how it is. You're looking for one thing and you find something completely different. Tucked away under a pile of forgotten cables was my old MP3 player. It's a brick, tiny monochrome screen, a scroll wheel that makes a very satisfying click. I charged it up and to my surprise it still worked. All my old playlists were there, a perfect time capsule from over a decade ago. It got me thinking. We live in a world of constant upgrades. The latest and greatest is always just around the corner. But is newer always better? We're told old tech is obsolete. It's slow, it's clunky, it's insecure. For the most part, that's true. I wouldn't trade my smartphone for a flip phone from 2005. Not a chance. The convenience, the power, the ecosystem. But holding that MP3 player, I realized it does one thing incredibly well. It just plays music. Let's start with the monitor on your desk. Today, it's probably a super thin 4K OLED or a high refresh rate IPS panel. The colors are vibrant, the text is razor sharp, you can see every single pixel. But I want to talk about its ancestor, the CRT, the cathode ray tube. These were the big, heavy beige boxes that took up half your desk. They hummed. They got hot. By today's standards, their resolution was laughably low. But retro gamers will tell you, for certain things, a CRT is still undefeated. The magic of a CRT is how it draws an image. It uses an electron gun to paint the picture line by line. No fixed native resolution like a modern LCD. Feed it a low-res signal, it displays it perfectly. No ugly scaling artifacts, no upscaling blurriness. For old-school games on the SNES and the original PlayStation, a CRT shows them as intended. Alright, let's talk about storage. Today we live in the cloud. We have terabyte-sized SSDs that can transfer files in the blink of an eye. Data is instant, accessible, seemingly infinite. Now think about the floppy disk. A 3.5-inch floppy held a whopping 1.44 megabytes. Not even enough for a single high-res phone photo. It's slow, fragile. The clicking and whirring was a soundtrack of pure anxiety. You worried your data was about to be corrupted, so it's useless, right? Case closed. Well, maybe not. Limitations of the floppy forced a discipline we've lost. With 1.44 MB, you had to be incredibly efficient. Programmers wrote tight, optimized code. Users were deliberate about what they saved. You couldn't dump everything. You had to curate. The physical air gap gave a unique security. To get data off a floppy, you needed physical access. It couldn't be hacked from the other side of the world. Let's go back to the heart of the machine, the processor. Modern CPUs, dozens of cores. Modern CPUs, gigahertz speeds. Modern CPUs, integrated AI accelerators. They can edit 8K video. They can run complex simulations. They can power realistic games now. An old Pentium PC from the late 90s, that beige tower humming under your desk. Single core, a few hundred megahertz, it would choke on a modern web page, seems like a dinosaur. In raw power it is, but that simplicity was its strength. Operating systems, like Windows 98, were built for those limits. Straightforward interfaces. A file system you could actually understand. Control panels with clear options. A direct relationship with the hardware. No constant background processes. No telemetry phoning home. No forced updates wrecking your workflow. You were in control. The machine did what you told it to do. And nothing more for anyone wanting a distraction-free environment. The limitations created focus. So, we've looked at a few examples, and a clear pattern emerges. With every step forward in technology, we make a trade-off. It's not a simple story of good giving way to better. It's a complex exchange of values. We gain speed. We gain convenience. We gain capability. We lose simplicity. We lose durability. We lose a sense of control. The upgrade treadmill is relentless. It's worth pausing to ask what the real cost of admission is. It's not just the money we spend on new gadgets, it's also the skills and philosophies we leave behind. Consider the cost. New tech is expensive. Flagship smartphone, high-end laptop, top-tier graphics card. Old tech is often incredibly cheap or even free. Old PCs. Monitors, thrift store and online marketplace listings. Someone on a tight budget. Hobbyist who loves to tinker. It democratizes access to technology. Learn, create, experiment. That's a huge win that we often overlook. At the end of the day, the line between obsolete and underrated is blurrier than you might think. What looks like a piece of junk from one angle might look like a perfectly designed, single-purpose tool from another. The CRT monitor, the floppy disk, the old Pentium PC, they aren't going to replace your current setup. They don't have the raw power or the versatility. But honestly, that was never their goal. They were designed to solve a specific set of problems from their time, and in some cases, they still offer a unique and valuable experience that new technology has moved away from. The real takeaway here is that technology isn't just about specs on a sheet. It's about the philosophy behind the design. Old tech often prioritized durability, user control, and simplicity. It was built to last and to be understood. New tech prioritizes speed, convenience, and integration. It's built to be seamless, powerful, and let's be honest, replaced. Neither philosophy is inherently right or wrong, but they lead to vastly different products and user experiences. Recognizing this allows us to be more intentional consumers of technology. Maybe the future isn't about exclusively using the newest, fastest thing. Maybe it's about building a toolkit, choosing the right tool for the job, regardless of its age.